morning with writing, if at all possible. As soon as the family is up and about, my daughter has her breakfast, I make myself a cup of tea, and then it is down to work. That maybe sounds a little bit indulgent if you have a really busy morning routine. Maybe you've got kids to get off to school or you have to rush off to a day job. And I will say I can't achieve writing every morning, every single day, but wherever possible, I do try to make it a priority. I was talking about this with someone on Instagram the other day. They were saying that they really prefer to write in the evenings. For me though, my most productive and creative time is in the morning and as close to waking up as possible. My brain just works so much better in the mornings. It's pretty much downhill from there, unfortunately, but that does mean if I can get lots of words done in the morning, I've got a really good start to the day. I've also found over many years of doing this that even if I only write a couple of hundred words first thing in the morning, that does set me up nicely for the day. If it's the first thing I've done in the morning, for some reason, it's much easier to come back to later. What I should say about this clip is that if I was being completely honest, I would still be in my pajamas at this point. I don't bother to get dressed or have breakfast before I start work. So at the moment, I'm working on another cyberpunk book. This is the sequel to Cybernation, which came out in January. On the day I filmed this, I had just reached 50,000 words. I've been really trying to prioritise one book at once at the moment. That maybe sounds like an obvious thing to do to make better progress, but I do like to jump around between lots of different things. And I've had weeks recently when I will be working on 3 books. I really just wanted to make more progress on this series though. So when I finished my last draft of a steampunk book, I put that completely aside and just dived into the cyberpunk. It's been really nice to have so much focus and I've been making really good progress on it recently. I do find that I have lost the ability to write to NaNoWriMo word counts. That is 1,667 words a day. At the moment, I'm aiming for about 1,500. I am managing that, but not every single day. There's usually at least one day off a week, maybe 2. Obviously, I've done NaNoWriMo lots of times before because I've vlogged it in the past, but the ability to keep up with that level of sustained word count has kind of eluded me at the moment. I'm not worrying too much about that though. As long as I'm making progress, that's really all that matters. Now, as I said, I'm currently working on a sequel, and sequels are tricky. I really love this world and I love all the characters, and it's been great to return to it, but I always fear I'm going to repeat myself, particularly if the location hasn't changed. This is the second book in a planned trilogy as well. I don't want to repeat plot points or character development or themes. It's really tricky to do something fresh in each book and yet still have a satisfying arc through the trilogy. I also don't want to worry about things like that too much at the moment though. As I said, during the process of filming this vlog, I hit 50,000 words, which is about halfway through the draft. So really all I want to focus on is just getting this draft done. I always work from some kind of outline. So usually during the course of the day, I will just keep working through point after point on my outline, just writing my 1,500 words a day, and then I will leave it wherever I get to. I can easily pick up the plot again by going back to my outline every day. However, as I said, I'd got to 50,000 words in this session, and that was where my outline ran out. I had everything roughly plotted out until the middle of the book. I had a few ideas for the end, but everything between those two was very, very hazy. So what I spent the second half of the day doing was brainstorming. For me, this is a process that is always best done on paper. There is something about the physical act of putting pen to paper that just makes your brain work differently. I don't know if it's because it's slower or it's something to do with the physical act of moving your hands, but I definitely find that ideas come to me much more freely when I'm writing with a pen. So, afternoon brainstorming. all on paper. This will of course end up in my outline on the computer. I pick the bits that are actually going to work and type those up. This is also a really good afternoon activity for me. As I said, my energy definitely dips as the day goes on. Sometimes it recovers again in the evening, but afternoons for me are always a very slow, sluggish time, particularly in warm weather. So brainstorming is something easy and low impact for me to do that doesn't require too much concentration. The other thing I just wanted to point out is that, of course, you see me working in all these clips and it all looks very serene, but what I haven't filmed is that I'm working around my toddler. I typically film when she's asleep, or certainly when she's out of the room. So I don't want this video to give the impression that I just sit at my desk all day. Honestly, I get maybe a couple of hours of work in a day. That's probably a good day. Writing is a priority for me, but while she's awake, my daughter always comes first. So I spend most of the day working around her schedule until she goes to bed. I've been trying lately to get through as much of my work as possible during the day so that once she's asleep, I can move on to other things. If I'm not too exhausted in the evening, it's a great time to pick up a book. Alternatively, I might find myself doing some different creative work, like working on videos or just gaming or watching YouTube. There are days when my brain has just had enough by 7 o'clock and I cannot focus on anything else. And with that, my rainy writing day is over. Keep writing, everyone, and I'll see you next time.